Okay, good. All right, everybody. So, just came back from New York. AMZ Innovate, great event, was awesome. And I did a listing teardown. I did a presentation, and I met amazing sellers. We had a lunch, and it was 1 billion annual revenue sitting at the lunch with only a few, like 3 sellers. It was amazing. Now, again, I was the smallest seller there. But I think so. I mean, me and the second guy were like neck and neck. So, I'm going to just go over what a little bit of the listing teardown I did, and then the general point I brought home. Now, guys, one thing to note is your sales on Amazon are highly dictated on how good your product is, what your product looks like, what your offering is, if it's better than the other ones. In my presentation, I said, hey, 40% of your time should be spent on this, on making your product better, on actually improving the product and just doing that, because that's the only thing. After the sale, after they click and buy, the only thing left is your product. Everything else is gone. They forget about everything else. And their entire interaction is with the thing that you sold to them. And that's what stays in their mind, because that's what actually you're interchanging with them. Then I said 25% is your main image. That's it. Basically, what is that? 65% of everything is making the product that you need and then making that image for it. That is most of what you're doing on Amazon, the majority. If you just focus your time on those 2 things and everything else takes a back seat, you're going to be in good shape. So that was like the key lesson that I opened with. And of course, that anybody can sell, because it's not that hard. Now I'm going to go over into this listing. Okay, this is Paradise Naturals. And the lady who's listing this her name is Katia, right here. And she was there. Let's see, she didn't do these changes yet, because it just happened, yesterday. So we're going to go over them and an alternative top product. So in the search, bone broth protein, if you search for it, this guy's, my comparison was this one, because it's not a big brand. This is a big brand, and these guys are also selling for a higher price. So I compared them to Paleo Valley over here. And Paleo Valley is selling something like $400,000 a month, and she is selling around $70,000 a month. So quite behind. And if you look, what's crazy is that these ratings are less than this one. So meaning there's more reviews actually on Paradise Naturals, which is Katia's listing. And so I'm going to just go over this really fast, what I see and what I shared, just because not everyone was there and they couldn't see it. So here we go. First of all, when you open this, it's very confusing what it is, okay? Talk about the speed. Like, it takes in a second, and there's so much text here that I don't know what is the main point. Okay, grass-fed, bone broth, protein, okay, collagen. So is it collagen, is it protein? Oh, good. And then on the side, it says probiotics here. It's very busy, and the messaging is very weak in terms of speed, because there's too much to read. When you compare to this guy, all I can see is bone broth protein, right? Like, boom, it's in your face, it's huge. Then pure unflavored, okay? Pure unflavored, boom, it's in your face, clear, right? Unflavored. Now, when you go over here, the flavor, pure, is like, what? What is a pure? I don't know, pure bone broth, pure thing, pure vanilla, pure chocolate, like pure, I don't know, it's weird. Also, the color orange really tripped me out. I don't like this color orange, because I don't know, it reminds me of like orange juice or something. Then these leaves, what do leaves have to do with bone broth? Like, this whole, it's way too busy. And if you look over here, cows, okay? Cows, that does have to do with bone collagen, right? Also bone broth, like it's, sorry, it's not collagen. But collagen, it's from nails and stuff like that. So I guess it could be from a cow. But bone broth, it's literally beef, bone protein. So it makes sense, you see. And then it's clear. I don't get distracted. This one's very distracting. I didn't even notice, but over here it says sodium free. Apparently that was like a big selling point. I didn't see that sodium free whatsoever until like she told me, hey, sodium free. I'm like, oh wow, okay. Then the plus collagen is very confusing, because now you're dictating the idea between 2 different things. So there's a lot of different changes, but I said, hey, listen, this one is very clear. Like, just move more towards something like this. Then the point is, hers is like yellow and this guy's is not yellow. And it might be because of these probiotics. And I think the main thing is that she got these bad reviews and sales went way down when it went down below 4.3. This guy has 4.4. So the ways that I suggested to increase the star rating is possibly get rid of the probiotics, because maybe they have a flavor that people do not like. I have had probiotics that do have a flavor. So that might be the problem with the flavor. Then you have one that can maybe probiotics added, and then have a thing that says about the flavor and stuff like that. Then also vanilla, right? Vanilla chocolate, people might like the flavors better, and that can have higher star ratings. So that's a big piece to get the star rating up, because that's so important. The next thing on these images, like this image is extremely busy and doesn't communicate very much. And then this guy like, oh, well, this one, I mean, fine if you want to read the nutrition facts, but like slip it, Well, they literally changed your listing. Oh, because I guess I was on vanilla when I did it. This one's way better, funny enough. The vanilla one, I think, looks way better. So here it says ultra pure. Okay, cool. And then some data there. And then this is kind of cool, like mix into all these different things. Suggestion. I mean, there's not that much going on this listing. I think the main image is the majority of it. The rest of it is like, okay, cool. Nothing too crazy. But over here, it's like very busy. And then here, other ingredients, none, I didn't love it. I said do something more like RX bar. How you could kind of show, for example, what you're talking about, which is like this, you know? Like, oh, those 4 ingredients, and you back it up. Because, I don't know, when I did it, I'm like reading, and then other ingredients. Oh, what are the other ingredients? And then only afterwards is only natural bone broth and heating broth. I don't know. I don't like the format. I think we should do something else more like this. Okay, good. That was it. And then, yeah, it's kind of busy, but not so bad. This one is strange because this one says it is collagen, but then it's bone broth versus collagen, but it already looked like there was collagen, so I thought that was a little bit strange. And then fine, gut health. I really don't love this image. It doesn't look, I mean, it looks like a very Shutterstock family. And then also variations was a big piece here. It's ounce, servings, and then value looks very strange. And then she mentioned there was an issue with like Amazon accepting the changes on this particular one. So it's like, okay, good. Then just make them all ounces. If the ounces is stuck, then just make them all be ounces, right? That's pretty simple. And then let's see. Oh, wow, this is horrible. I didn't see that last time. So in the end, that's a terrible. That's generally in like materials or some other part here. There's like bullets in the back end that should be changed. I don't think I even got to that. I didn't even read these. I didn't even get to the bullets because there wasn't that much time. Good. And then over here, funny enough, the best images I thought were down here, like this one. First bone broth with digestin healing probiotics seemed like very good, very cool here. And then also this one, like low heat simmered. It was filtered for 30, 40 hours. I thought these were very good. These kind of text and like this idea, but why is it only down here and not up there? I also thought for the story here, make this way less because the text is like a quick, short, and sweet one, or maybe make it big at the top and then make something smaller at the bottom. Probably a great idea. And that was basically it. I mean, just with those things, basically the main image. And if you look, in this listing teardown, I did talk about a lot of the rest of the listing, but this main thing is more than half, or like about a half of what your entire listing is that image. So make it cleaner, take away the word pure, make it unflavored. Or pure unflavored is fine too, the top guy's doing it that way. But pure by itself is strange. The color orange is like, definitely doesn't vibe with this. The leaves, is the text. Then the package also changes on you. The package is different here than it is up there. That's it. And then these guys, they have just the flavor instead of the sizes. Here is very confusing. How many ounces is this? How many servings? How many grams? It's confusing. I can't compare it to this guy, right? So here it's 28 servings of how many? Well, they tell you. Look, right there. It's in the bag. You can read it. So it says the net weight, 1.17 pounds. It's 532 grams. I don't know how many grams this is. I don't see it. If I go up close, I don't see it. If I see it here, I don't see it. In the title, I don't see it. So I can't compare. And in fact, since this is a much better value, you'd want to compare it. So then they're actually looking at that comparison. But adding flavors, making the flavor taste better to get a 4.3, which is getting rid of the probiotics, because that is the product. Changing the product, changing the main image. That is the key. So anyway, that's about it for this listing teardown. Those were my suggestions. Getting those reviews up. And that's about it, guys. So that is the listing teardown. Of course, I talked about it more, but I hope that's useful. And guys, if you do want a listing teardown, comment, put your ASIN in the comments, and let me know if you do want me to do a listing teardown, because I do want to do more of these. I'm happy to look at your listings and give you suggestions of what to do. That's what I'm here for, to help you guys get into a better business, right? And the key thing is looking at it, opening it, pretending. Oh, also too, I was like, hey, did you do, like a taste test with your product? And she said, yes. And I said, okay, good. So did you do you gave 2 cups, the person didn't know which one was yours, and you told them to try it and then say which one you preferred. And she was like, And I was like, no, so you didn't. She said, yes, I told them which one was mine and which one was theirs. And of course they liked mine. I'm like, okay. Your friends are biased. They're going to not want to break your heart, right? They're going to want to tell you that your thing is amazing. So you cannot let people know which one is yours and which one is the other one. You cannot do that. If you do that, you will, pretty much everybody's going to tell you that yours is awesome because they don't want to crush you. That is very, very important. using survey tech. We use various ones. You could email your subscriber list is the best, and just send them 2 images and see like which one do you like. That's a great way to do it. Woo! Okay. Otherwise, things that I learned. There's a shipment to Canada. If you want to do more shipments to Canada, Canada's huge. Canada's amazing. And this guy Mo Cohil, man, I gotta get his name. So Mo, dude, he's a cool guy. Mo, he taught me a bunch of stuff of how to get shipments to Canada without storing in Canada. This is huge to get all your inventory to Canada. If you let me know, I can send you that list of like how to do that. That's pretty cool. Selling in all the countries. This is a massive, massive growth for any company if you can sell in other countries. So have little tips. That's one thing that I learned there very big. And then listen, talking to Jabran Niaz from Utopia, he has a different level. The guy has 15,000 employees and factory workers. But he's thinking about you do well by dominating the entire supply chain. And he's like, I'm going to dominate categories. So the Chinese factories literally don't have production capacity and they have to raise their prices. And then I'm going to dominate entire sectors that way. This guy's next level. But just thinking of a concept of like, what do these people think about? The smaller sellers that I met that were like, maybe not smaller, but some of them were still big, right? Over $10 million. But the difference between like Jabran, who's doing $750 million, and like a $10 million seller, $20 million, or even a $5 million, whatever level, is that this guy's thinking about like how to solve the real equation of like, what are you doing as a company? And that's what he's thinking about. And then these smaller guys, a lot of them, almost like the smaller the person is, the more they're focused on like hacks and like, how do I like cheat the system to do this and like cheat some social media to this or cheat that. And that's kind of the focus. And I'm like, I mean, I'll listen because if people want to share with me stuff, I'm going to listen. But is that a tactic that I'm going to use? No, it's not something I'm going to use. I want to focus on like, how do I deliver to the customer, not how do I cheat the system? And so I feel like as people get bigger and bigger and bigger, they realize more what is important in the business and what to focus on. And so that's just something that I learned as well. Like, yeah, these cheap tricks. Like, there are some big companies that use it. I guess I heard of one major company that did some like sketchy stuff to get really, really big. And I'm like, okay, cool. I don't care if it worked for them. It might have worked for the short run. I don't know what's going to happen to them later. So I don't know. Just saying, one of my realizations is that the bigger the person is, the more focused they are on like the core business stuff that will make or change it in a way that makes them way more valuable. I also learned a lot about, of course, I announced that same day that I arrived there, I announced the acquisition of Intrinsic Brands by Nexus Capital, which just happened. There's a press release. It's a fantastic thing that we did. Amazing acquisition, was really, really cool. And talked to a lot of other aggregators, heard like news of what's happening in that whole market. And otherwise just met some really cool people. So that's all I got right now. I just wanted to share the listing teardown that I did. I do feel it is important to get out and meet other sellers, meet other people, and just get more viewpoints and more experiences, because when you're just in the office and doing the same thing like over and over, of course you're not doing the same thing, you're changing things, but getting out, it's like good, a new viewpoint, new fresh look. So I really recommend just going out, going to events, going to masterminds, and just learning and changing, because that's what business is. You're interacting. And what does your customer need? How else can you serve? That's what I got from AMZ Innovate. So guys, if you want your listing have a listing teardown, put it in the comments. Happy to check it out. Of course, I may not get to all of them, but I might. So, that's it, guys. Short episode this time. Bye.